We back at it. Yeah. Showtime.
And get rewarded as you learn.
Notifications going out, man. Yeah. Gun gossip. They pushing them. They pushing the notifications. Yeah. Sleepy as hell tonight, y'all. Got two in the chat. Send them links out, man. Wake up, America. Wake up, America. See you out there, Jason. Tech lover, Nathan. Yeah. That boy Raheen out there, boy. Yeah. We see you, my boy. Yeah. Showtime, y'all. Tonight we're going to have a pretty interesting conversation. Y'all see the topic. Let me get some of these banners going. Yeah. We got 8 out there, y'all. Send out some more of them links. Share this feed, man. Share this feed, man. Big Dre 357. We see him out there, man. Yeah. We see you. What up with you, big bro? Dstro 777. He made it through, y'all. Yeah. It's only a chosen few to know about that number. Only a chosen few. Y'all only knew.
Dad, can you make a bang?
Man. Man, y'all heard Big Bro, man. Hit that like. He said hot that like button. Yeah. Hit that like button, y'all. Come on, man. Hit that like button. Share the feed. We about to turn up, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. And I'm going to drop the link tonight. Honestly, we got some guests coming through, but if you just want to tap in, click on the link. If I know who you are, I'm going to let you in a discussion, man. It's pretty deep discussion tonight. Pretty deep. Tennessee Goddess, we see you out there. Yeah. I'm going to drop that link shortly in a few minutes, y'all. Shanna, we see you out there. Appreciate you coming through, Shanna. Come on, man. Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm about to turn the music down. We're going to get into it. All right, y'all. It is a freaking new year, man. Happy New Year 2025. Wish you all, blessings. Hope you fulfill your biggest dreams. Of course, some people have their little list of everything that they want to do and accomplish within each new year, which honestly, that should be throughout the year. But if you had that list and you started a new list, go ahead and make it happen, man. You got to put it in action. And once you put it in action, you start speaking into existence, things will start to happen. And so, I hope all you guys reach those goals and those accomplishments. And the accomplishments that a lot of people didn't probably think you would do certain things. Those are some of the best accomplishments, because then you have other people that's looking at you that may want to do some of the same things that you're doing. And when they see you moving and shaking, they become believers, man, just because you're making it happen, you know? Who wants to sit around and listen to people who either don't have the experience or don't have the resume to accomplish certain things they need to accomplish? It's cool listening to them. But to me, I mean, just for like a person like me, it kind of falls on deaf ears. I gotta see the proof in the pudding, like Bill Cosby say. You feel me? I gotta see the proof in the pudding, man. And if I could see that proof, then guess what? I'm gonna open my ears up and listen. So I really, really hope it works out for you guys within the year. Who else is out here? Let's see. They out there talking to each other, and I hope things happen. But we got a pretty interesting conversation tonight, y'all. It's a conversation that's pretty deep to me, and I was thinking about it a couple of days ago. Me and Chad was sitting on the sideline, and we were talking about some things and stuff like that, and it just came to me like, why are we protecting ourselves the way that we are? You know, why do you choose? Out there in the comments section, drop the comments. Why do you choose to carry a firearm? Or what was the actual experience that made you choose to carry a firearm? You know, I'm going to start with myself here. As far as myself, of course, this is a right that's supposed to be a natural born right for you to be able to carry a firearm and protect yourself, especially from individuals or a tyrannical government, right? These are some of the things that we already know about. But I think it even goes deeper into that. We're not like living like they used to live back in the day. It's different. We have social media, we have the internet, we have cameras. It's just a lot more going on than they even have had to deal with. So things change. And when things change, viewpoints change. The reasons for certain things, they change also. And of course, I do it because I know that I have the right, but I had things happen to me when I was younger that made me say, you know what? Maybe I need to figure this thing out, because I think I shared this with y'all before. In my community, it was looked upon as the bad guys. The bad people always had the guns. I know from my viewpoint it was. And from a lot of the people that I seen in my neighborhood, a lot of times it was some of the bad people who had the firearms. You know, it wasn't too many people that I remember that was like good people that would say, oh, I got all these firearms. No, I don't remember none of that. I may remember maybe, and I ain't gonna mention no names, but some people very close to me, family members that I know that were for the good, and they shared it with me, some elders, which introduced me into that thing. But other than that, I don't remember many. All the experiences that I had when I was coming up in school, man, a lot of the bad people, they had firearms and they had guns. And it was a weird thing because back then, truthfully told, I wasn't carrying a firearm at that time. Now, did I get my hands on some crazy stuff at that time? Possibly. But I didn't really, it was like a wow factor type thing. It wasn't like I knew what the hell I was doing. You know, I didn't at that time. And I'll never forget, man, you know, it was a lot of beef going on. And for those that don't know what beef means, it means a lot of issues. When you have beef with a person, you have problems and all of this stuff, right? So it was a lot of issues going on back at school, just with a whole bunch of other people in high school when I was going to high school. And I remember a lot of the gangs and stuff like that, they carry firearms. And I'll never forget, man, I was looking across, you know, I was just at home. One of my homeboys hit me up, was like, bro, you need to look at this. Something about to happen. Whoop-de-woo, something about to pop off. So I was like, oh, shit. So I'm looking out the living room window, and I'll never forget, man, it was a big gang that I knew. I ain't going to say the names of them, but I knew them, and they, came across the fields, this and that and that and this. And man, it was a crazy ass thing, man, where some stuff went down. And it was an individual, like people who lost their lives that day. And when that shit happened, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, you know, you got these people running around with guns that's not supposed to have guns. Then what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, am I supposed to get one too? And I never was that type of person where I just felt like, I just wanted everybody to get along. I've always been like that. I just always wanted everybody to get along. But the truth of the matter is, everybody can't get along. And another truth of the matter is, a lot of people, low key, a lot of times are jealous of what you have and what you got. And when they are, people tend to do bad things to other human beings because of that. So they try to take what you got, right? Or they try to take advantage of you because they feel like they had that upper hand at that time with a firearm. So, as I got older and things like that, and I ended up moving from where I moved from, Flint, Michigan, to the South, I just started having a different perspective about certain things. And I had a neighbor one day, and me and him was talking, and he was very, very much so into firearms. Hold on a sec, y'all. I see you, Raheem. I'm going to post in a few minutes. He was, very into them. And so I was very curious about it because I've always wanted to gear up and be ready, for anything. I had some issues with some gangs here when I came here to Tennessee. And I ain't had no guns at that time, but still got into it with them. But anyway, the neighbor and me and him was talking and stuff like this. And he was teaching me stuff and talking to me about stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm finding out about it. And I'm like, man, all right. So I'm actually in a free, pretty much so-called, I don't believe in free nothing. Call me what you want, but I don't. I understand that it's deeper than that. So-called free state. And let's put it this way, it's more relaxed, a lot more relaxed than other states. And when I found out about that, I was like, okay. Because I always thought it was like a bad thing, man, at that time, y'all. I swear I did. I know this sounds crazy. And this may really sound crazy to a lot of people in the South that was born here in the South. But that's just the way I was thinking. I was just thinking, if I get my hands on a firearm, even when I'm legal, I'm still illegal. I know that sounds crazy as hell. I swear I do. At least I'm one of the ones that can tell the truth right now. But I just felt like even if I do it, I'm still illegal regardless anyway. Like, it was the weirdest damn thing, man. And then I just started finding out more and more about laws, regulations, how things are. Jova Q, we see you out there. Jova Q, the scientist, is here, y'all. I started finding out more about certain things and your rights, man. And then I started rocking with some dudes down here, like some old heads, some old white heads, and they started putting me on game, man. It was like, look, this is what you need to do. You need to be carrying this. I'll never forget, I was telling this story not too long ago where I remember after me and Raheem had shot the first video on my channel, y'all, it was with a Mossberg Maverick 88. And when I was shooting that, after I shot that video, I went to the range by myself. And the quick story, y'all. And I think I brought the Mossberg Maverick 88, and then I purchased that new Ruger. I still got that Ruger. That Ruger be snapping too, but it was the Ruger 5.56. And I brought it to the range. I was out there shooting by myself, just learning stuff. And one of the guys next to me, like I said, an old head, he came over. He's like, that's nice, man. What is that? And I told him exactly what it was. And I was like, go ahead, shoot with it, man. So he was shooting. He was like, this is nice. He was like, I like it. And then something had happened. I cannot remember what it was. And he asked me, he said, do you have tools? And I was like, what? Tools? He was like, yeah. Do you have tools for your firearms? He said, you need to have tools. He said, if you're going to carry around a firearm, he was like, what if something goes wrong with it? What are you going to do? Just stand there? Like, you need to be able to repair your firearms. And I thought about it and I was like, damn, he right about that. And he was like, let me show you the tools that I carry, to the range every single time. So he showed me his tools, and some other things. And he was like, these are the things that you need to carry, when you're going out and you're shooting. And he was like, you also need to carry a med kit. He was like going down the line with certain things. He was just sharing with me. I think he was in the military, older white guy. And he put me on game. And I was like, okay. So, like, I really listened to what he said, man. I got so many tools in all my gun cases now. It's ridiculous. Like, I got tools for everything. Anything you need. You need grease for your buffer tube? I got it. For real. Any type of screw? I got it. Any type of screwdriver? I got it. Right there. You need some oil? What kind you need? So I always keep that stuff. And it was all because of him, And to my point, he shared all of that with me. So I became more educated and behind that. And then luckily the creator connected me with some great people that's military, ex-police. And y'all know I don't get along too long with police, period. But these police dudes are cool. Cool as hell. They not bad guys. And really cool guys. And I got along with them. And then like two of them helped train me. So I was like, okay, so this is what this is all about. And that pretty much started my journey on all of this stuff, It was a lot of times where I wish when I was younger, I could have defended myself in that type of way, because the tables was actually turned and gun was pulled on me. So it's one of them things where once you have that experience, you never want to have that experience again, or you try to help prevent that situation from happening in the future. So it's just one of them things, man. Unless you go through it, you really won't. Like, a lot of people really won't understand that. They really won't get it. And another thing I truly believe too, I've seen too many times where people got caught slipping with their pants down as far as not having a firearm and then having family, and like, what the hell you gonna do? You in a house with your wife, your 3 kids, you gonna cut somebody with a butter knife? The hell? It don't work like that, man. These dudes ain't coming in with butter knives. Matter of fact, these dudes coming in a little bit more geared now these days. So you got to be ready. And that's just truly what I believe. And honestly, I don't even think it's a belief. It's just a reality of what's going on right now. This shit is crazy. They hitting up all of these gun places, breaking into all of these gun places. All of this type of stuff is happening right now. And if a person is really ignoring it and not seeing this type of stuff, the only thing I could say to you is just wake up, man, because don't wake up before it's too late, to protect yourself. And if you can legally do it, and like I said, I even heard of guys that's not legal, they feel like they still need to. And they explained that to me too. And at first I didn't understand that, but now I get it. It's because who gonna get got? Like, it's either the mouse or the cat or the mouse. Like, somebody gonna get got. So it's just one of them things where you just cannot get caught slipping. So those are some of my reasons why, I choose to carry and I choose to protect myself, because I know I'm a good guy and I just cannot sit by and have anybody take advantage of me. It just ain't gonna happen like that. And so I'm curious about that. Like, what made you, in a comment section, like, what made you seriously pick up a firearm and say, you know what, I want to start protecting myself? And it's crazy. Each one of you guys out in the comment section, I can about guarantee you remember that moment where you said, I need to start carrying. Some people, and I wasn't fortunate like this because of the city that I grew up in, but some people grew up with family members that always had guns and that always shot. That's something that I learned when I came to the South. I'm like, damn, that shit cool as hell. Little Bobby out there shooting and shit, and his dad, showed him, and then his granddaddy showed his dad like that shit didn't happen with me, not even close. But some people had that opportunity where they just had family members that knew what the hell they was doing and just kind of passed it on through generation through the family, you know? Um, and I think that's an awesome thing, man. When I start having my kids and stuff like that, I think that's something that you should do. And if you're not doing that, sharing that information with your children, if you're not taking them out to the range, shame on you. And I mean that because that's an injustice to the kids, man. You got some of these badass kids walking around here with 30 round mags with switches on them. So what the hell your child gonna do when they try to defend themselves? So you have to put things in perspective, explain it thoroughly to them, and give them a clear understanding on why they're doing what they're doing. Not just say, here, Tyrone, here you go. This a gun. Just protect yourself. Nah, you need to explain those things to them. Education is the key, man. Like really understanding why you're doing what you're doing. And then when you do that, I think that gives you more of a that kind of installs a humble spirit in that individual person. They understand, and okay, like with this tool, I really can take somebody's life. Like that's serious. So if you know that, and you know somebody turning up, and you know this other person don't even have a firearm, you already know you got an advantage over them. So don't even go there with them. Don't even get upset and mad at them. Like, cause you already got it in the bag. You ready to go. You probably got two. So it's best just to give him that Ron Wayne smile and smirk, even though we can't see him on film with that damn bandana on. But just give him that Ron Wayne smirk and walk away, because you already know you got it. You know you got it. And so I'm about to see what y'all saying out here. I'm gonna drop the link in a few minutes, and I really want to see what was your reason. I shared my reason. That's some stuff that I usually don't talk about. Why? Because that's kind of close to me, and it has like traumatic shit that in the past and stuff like that. But I just felt like I wanted to share that with y'all. Let's see what they saying out there real quick. CDL's out here. Where you at? Yeah, CDL. We see you out there, man. Appreciate you coming to the show. Let's see. Everybody saying what's up to C. Excuse me, CDL. Let's read Destro's real quick, y'all. He said he's sharing with us. He said Destro said I started carrying after some guys pulled their guns out on us at the dance hall because of some kind of beef back in the younger. See, I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of times it's the traumatic. Listen, y'all don't think people from the hood and stuff like that got post-traumatic syndrome? They do. It be shit that done happened to them that fucked them up mentally. Not saying that they done went crazy afterwards, but things happen, and it makes you do certain things after that. Now, again, you don't want to do anything in a bad type of way, but just when things like that happen, you don't forget that kind of stuff. Like, I'll never forget that. And it was somebody that I went to school with that lost their life. That I remember when all of that stuff was going on with them gangs. Like, I knew this person, and this person was cool as hell to me. And I'm like, this shit is crazy, man. Like, the hell? Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I ain't got no plug on no guns. I don't know where to get no gun. Like, I didn't know none of that shit back then. I just didn't. And so, Destro, I feel you on that. Seriously. I totally feel you on it. And a lot of times we don't want to talk about what happened. What was it that caused us to do it? We don't want to talk about it. But today is the day to share some of that stuff. If y'all don't mind. Let's see. They said Destro, that's true. Let's see. What's up, Joe? Okay, they saying what's up. Let's see. Go down. Okay. Oh, AK-47. I love that name. We see you out there, man. Let's see what he said. He said was involved in a home invasion and it was terrifying. Damn. He said didn't have anything. Now I have a that boy went crazy. He said now I have a suppressed ARP and multiple ARs in the Glock in the back. Come on, man. I'm telling you, bro. Hey, AK-47, I understand. Trust me. I understand, man. It's not about, listen, it's not about being paranoid, even though I think some people are paranoid. I think you should be hyper aware of your surroundings and hyper aware of what's going on at all times. And just being strategic with shit. Like humans are real crafty and real sneaky. So the thing is, you have to be sneakier than the person that's trying to be sneaky. And if you can constantly keep that up, most likely you're going to be protected. When you pull up to your house and things of that nature, don't just pull up to the damn house. Pull up to the house and look in your rear view, man. You know, a lot of people don't do that. Pull up to your house, look in your rear view. Then after you look in your rear view, look in your left little, you know what I'm saying? On the left, the rear view on the left, then look at the one on the right. Because guess what? Somebody could be stooping down next to your car. Then during the daytime, you should be looking around your house just to see where I call them dead zones. That's right. They call dead zones. So when you look, it's areas that you just can't see a person because there's no light shining. Pay attention to the dead zones. People don't pay attention to dead zones. I do. You make sure you want to really, really watch them areas so you can draw first and protect yourself first. So it won't be the element of surprise. You know? So those are some of the ways. Let's see. Raheem, he dropped something in the comments. He said, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Facts. Very true. Very, very true, man. Very, very true. And like I said, y'all, a lot of times it's experiences. I got a whole bunch of friends and I know about some of the experiences that they went through back in the day with firearms and got caught slipping, period. And based off those instances, going in the future, they had to start carrying because they like, you know what? I'm not going to let that happen again. You're just not going to let it happen again. You know? Let's see. Turning Guns dropped something. He said, what's wrong with carrying? Because that's what real men do. I wonder why he said that. I don't know. Let's see. What's wrong with carrying? Because, hey, ain't nothing wrong with carrying. I don't know who said that. I don't see where anybody said that. I don't see where. I don't know. Turning Guns, explain. Drop a comment back in there. Because I believe in carrying. Let's see. Ron Wayne, he dropped something. He said, I thought you would appreciate that. LOL. He's talking to Jova Q. So that's what it is when it comes to that, guys. It like these experiences are hell of experiences. I always try to advocate for the 2A community, and I don't advocate in a stupid, sloppy way because it's enough stupid, sloppy stuff going on the internet. Like you can be entertaining and have fun, man, but I see too much of the foolishness, man, going on. You know, and I'm not perfect, but guess what? People know when they being foolish and stupid. You know, and when other people see that, some people that's inexperienced may be turned on to that type of stuff. And it's just not a smart way to be. Because guess what? You throwing 30 shots at somebody with a magazine. Now you got an experienced person that just let off 2 shots and then hit their target. What you gonna do? A switch ain't gonna be too good for you if you can't hold it in your hand and you don't have strategic placement and finger placement on your shit. Guess what? You're gonna hit Lil Pookie, Jaquita. You might end up hitting You might end up hitting Carmen. And if you hit Carmen, your ass in trouble now. So what you gonna do? Like, we got to really start practicing that shit and talking about the right stuff. You can still be cool. You can still carry firearms. You can still look cool and know what the hell you doing. It's too many of us doing that dumb shit, man. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm saying it. You can still look cool, but just know what you're doing when you're doing it. That's all I gotta say, man. And if it's shot, them the shots I'm throwing out there. Like, that's what it is when it comes to that. Let's see. Okay, Turning Guns dropped something. Let's see. Turning Guns said, just saying a man shouldn't need a reason to carry. I carry, but okay. I'm feeling that, Turning Guns. I'm feeling that. However, I got many reasons on why I carry. But I'm not knocking you at all for just carrying just because you want to. I respect that, bro. You feel me? I respect that, bro. Because you want to, that's your right. And it's a good thing. But I got many reasons why I do. Like, it's even more reasons than that. That I ain't gonna name some other stuff, but like that's, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Turning Guns, like, everybody got their different reasons, and that's why I wanted this live show for people to share some of the reasons why they do it. Like, people curious about that, you know, or maybe somebody out there that's not carrying and they want to know. Chad Thompson dropped something out there. He said space kangs. Let's see. Turning Gun said that in Grizzly Bear and Mountain Lion. Hey, them boys get with you too. Wiggins, yeah, he out there. Wiggins, we appreciate you coming to the show. I was thinking about you, and you didn't call me, man. We were supposed to meet up Sunday, but we can meet back up. I didn't call you neither. We didn't call each other. We fell off, but we got to get back together. Let's see what he said. He said, "Learn your tools." Facts, because a lot of people don't know, man. A lot of people don't know, and like with me knowing what I know now, and I think I said this before. With me knowing what I know now, when I'm out and I'm shooting guns, I can kind of tell an inexperienced shooter with certain things that they do. I may not say certain things, but I could tell, you know, and a lot of times I don't criticize a person from that. I just try to help them. I don't even like to use the word constructive criticism because I don't even try to go there. Sometimes people just don't know. So once you help them, then a lot of times they're willing to learn and they'll do it going forward. So, that's a fact, man. Let's see what else they saying out there. They're talking to Wiggins. James Gordon, we see you out there. We appreciate you coming through. Let's see. Oh, Wiggins dropped something else. Let's see what he said. He said, I carry because I want to make it home at night, every night. Facts. Facts, man. It's too much going on. Too much going on. It's too much going on. You see what's happening right now with the wildfires out there in California and them people that got the money, right? Like, they're looting their homes. Literally. While the fires are going on, they're looting. So imagine if a situation happened in like Tennessee and something really happened, like we have a lot of vegetation here and we caught on fire and crazy stuff start going to happen, anarchy, you know, what are you going to do? You going to lay down? You going to let somebody kick in your door? Right? You going to let somebody kidnap your daughter? Like, this stuff really be happening, man. James Gordon said, I love the 2A community. I do too, man. James, I've learned so much. And the main thing is I learned a lot of survival techniques. That's something that's extremely important. I didn't realize how valuable it was, James. I swear to God, bro. Like, I didn't have my father there. I didn't have my father there to teach me this type of stuff. I had to do this shit myself, bro. I had to learn this stuff myself, bro. Imagine how much courage that takes to have to learn that yourself. You know? So that's why I'm so willing to be able to help other people when they don't know certain things. But when you know certain things and then you still doing the foolish, dumb stuff, then I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help a person like that. Nate the White, he dropped something. He said, it's always good to carry, but to carry multiple things. I totally agree. Right? I totally agree. Whether that be multiple firearms, in strategic places, not just in a place, but in strategic places for specific reasons, right? And not only that, but when you store them in a certain area, does it make sense for the environment that it's in? So what I mean by that, are you in a townhome? Are you in an apartment where somebody's right next to you? Or are you in a stationary home? That determines a lot of times what type of firearm you should be using in that room or at that point. Ballistic wise, what type of ammunition are you carrying also? Like you're using in that gun at that point. So it's so many different things that I didn't know when I was younger. Now that I can explain these things now. But it matters, man. And the end result, it matters. And hopefully, some of you guys coming over to the channel, if y'all new coming into the live, these are some of the things that are extremely important because it can get you out of some hot ass water by knowing some of this stuff. Tennessee Goddess, she said 2A community has some of the most genuine people in it. Facts. Very, very true. Very, very true. And I didn't realize how much the 2A community was demonized until I got into it. I just really I didn't know. I thought the shit was cool, but I didn't know that like a lot of people are against. Well, I did. I ain't gonna even lie. Cause the community I came from, a lot of people just look down at them. So yeah, there's some people out there, as soon as you say the word GUN, they'll faint on you. What you say? AK-47? Oh. You got a what? 9mm? Oh, shit. Oh. I'm for real, y'all. Like, it's some people like that, I swear. You can't even talk to them. They not rocking with you. As soon as you say it, they are not. You can't have those conversations with some people. And I gotta say it, some people so religious till they just believe some kumbaya type stuff and turn the other cheek and I'll kiss you on the cheek. Nah. Yeah, they gonna kiss you on them cheeks, all right. They gonna take advantage of them cheeks because you ain't got it. I'm just saying, like, hey, I'm making fun of this, but I'm serious right now. Let's see what y'all saying out there, man. Y'all can let's see. Hope Newhouse, we appreciate you coming to the show. He said, I carry because I don't want to become a victim of someone else. Man, come on, bruh. Facts. Preach, man. Preach, man. And there's a lot of people that want to force their will on you. A lot. Sometimes people are actually around you and they just want to test you to see. But once they know that it's real, like, damn, this motherfucker really will clap me, they not going to test you. They just not going to do it. They're going to, you know what they're going to do? They're going to pick easier targets. They're going to pick easier targets. They're going to pick Stacy that lives in Brentwood and drives a Mercedes Benz. She's not carrying, probably. They're going to try to get her. Or they're going to try to get Wilma that just got home from church, praising the Lord, and she don't believe in him and she don't have nothing at the house. They're going to get her. I'm just saying, y'all, like that. It really is like that. Like, it's crazy like that. Let's see. Lead Lace Anarchy. Let's see what he's saying out there. And those were most likely the same people who voted for anti-gun politicians and or support gun control. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see who's next. Jane Gordon, he popped something. He said, let's see. I don't carry. I have to take the class soon and learn more. Mr. Gordon, man, it's going to be some of the best things that you've ever done. I'm telling you. It is, man. When you know, because sometimes we're actually forced into environments that we kind of don't want to go into, but sometimes we have to. But just imagine not being ready and going into those environments. It's an even worse feeling. But when you're ready and have to go into them environments, you have a lot more confidence. A lot more. Especially when you know what you're doing. So there's a thin line when it comes to that. I'm telling you, Gordon, you're gonna feel more liberated, man, than ever. Like, just like I said before, be humble with it and learn as much as you can. Because I'm still learning to this day about certain things. I'm learning so much, and I love it. And it's just I feel like it's making me become a better person, a better man. You know, and I'm able to help other people and spread the education and information. Um, Turning Gun said, it's good to familiarize yourself where wall studs are typically placed in walls so you can be more efficient at hitting targets through walls and such. Absolutely. I agree. I agree, brother. Let's see. Christine White. We see you out there, Christine. Appreciate you coming through. Nathan White's wife, y'all. She said, I carry because I was raised, see, to be aware. Then the Navy and 9/11 taught me to be more vigilant. Facts. See, and that goes back to where I was saying some people have that opportunity where they had family members and stuff like that that help them and train them through the process. Man, that's so important. That's so important. Rod dropped something else, y'all. He said it's important to know the layout of your home or apartment in the event of a home invasion. Know your ammunition. Facts. What I just said. Yep. And very, very important. Very important. Let's see what else they saying out there. Oh, Chicago Mike out there. Chicago Mike, we appreciate you coming through, bro. I'm about to drop the link, Chicago Mike, to let you in. Let's see also. Mr. Wiggins said also take classes on how to draw facts. Facts. Because it helps. You don't want to get hung up on that damn shirt, that damn long shirt you may have on. You feel me? Like that could be life or death situation. Or damn shooting yourself in the damn thigh or the leg. Let's see. Chicago Mike said, we learn something new every day. So true. So true. Mr. Wiggins said, I wonder how many carry with never taking a class on his to draw. Interesting. Very interesting. It's probably a lot of people, to be honest with you. It's probably, and you know what's crazy? Now these days, Mr. Wiggins, we have so much of an opportunity that a lot of times we have the information right in front of us, but we just don't want to look for it. We have the internet now, and they have it set up in such a way now where you can literally dry fire in your room, watch somebody that's a professional that's doing it the right way, mimic them and do it in your room in the privacy of your own home. That's one way you can do it. If you don't have the money to go to somebody to train you in something like that, there's still no excuse. You can do it that way. So it's so many different ways to get that education, y'all. I promise. Just don't sit on it. Don't just be lazy and not look for the information because it's out there. Let's see. Mr. Wiggins said, you don't want to accidentally shoot Big Jill. Facts, man. Hey, don't they call that, Mr. Wiggins, don't they call that appendix carry, bruh? Man, that boy done shot his junk off. Man, that mud just on the ground, just wiggling like a worm. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, man, can't have that happen. Listen, your manhood is over. Once that goal is over for you, it really is. I don't know if they can sew it back on, man. It might hurt too much. Then you might not even be able to use it after that. I don't know. Let's see. Chicago Mike said, I won't be able to come in to see. Okay, I feel you. Let's see. Okay. All right, I'm about to drop this link real quick and get to the see goddess in here, see what she think about this stuff. And let me drop it. Anybody else want to come in, just let me know. And I'll drop the link. Let me hit invite. Copy. And I'm about to drop it, y'all. All right, I just dropped the link. Christine said, yeah, I made chili in the crock pot, staying out the cold. Man, that sounds so damn good. Is it turkey chili, or is it like that beef chili? I dropped that link. Yeah, y'all. So I'm glad that some of you guys share your experience and why you carry. And some people it's so personal, and I understand. Some people it's so personal they don't want to share their experience on why they do it. Some of the stuff that may have happened to them may be too embarrassing. You feel me? Bam!
Hello.
There she is.
Yeah,
What's going on?
just busy working and stuck on the hill.
Stuck on a hill. What the hell is that?
My driveway is was until this afternoon, late this
I
afternoon.
iced up.
Yeah,
Mm.
so I wasn't able to get out until about 4:30.
Dang, that stuff melted around here. It all
Yeah,
melted.
the main streets were good, but my driveway was a no go.
Damn.
But this afternoon it did, so I was like, all right, it's cool.
Well,
So I just I
long as
worked.
you safe.
Yeah, I worked. The deer had a great time out there, and the rabbits.
You saw him?
Oh yeah,
That's dope.
yeah, it was like any time there was anywhere from 10 to 20 deer in my yard, and then the rabbits were out there just having a ball. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, the rabbits love that stuff. I don't know what it is about the snow. They used to all come out. Like when I used to live at my other apartment complex, I used to see a bunch of rabbits out when it used to snow.
Yeah, rabbits. Saw a couple of foxes that I wasn't expecting to see, and a beaver or two, and I was like, really? And there
Damn.
were some ducks. So I was like, oh, okay, everybody's coming here to my house. It's probably that Bojangles biscuit I tossed out.
It was tearing that damn biscuit up.
That, hey, they tore up the pumpkin that I put out there back in the first part of December. It's completely gone,
I don't see why
and
they wanted pumpkin. Pumpkin tastes so damn nasty.
they
Ugh.
love it. They love it. It's completely gone. I thought it was just gonna maybe just disintegrate, but no. I used it as part of my decorations for Thanksgiving and Halloween, and it was still pretty firm by December. So I was like, "You got to go." So, into
Damn.
the woods. Into the woods. Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead and share with us like some of your reasoning, right? And behind what started you carrying firearms. And like if you feel comfortable, give us the full spill, like the true reasons.
So my first reason, I used to travel all over the United States, didn't pay attention to any gun laws, just thought I needed to have something. And I had a cheap old revolver back then, never even shot it, carried it around with me. And then I have a tendency to have a bad temper on certain times. And my friend's husband started harassing me and other people that we worked with. And I was like, he's going to knock on my door. I'm going to have to shoot him. That was my mentality. And then he came beating on my door and trying to get in and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't open the door. But also, if I do, I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to wait till he comes across the threshold.
Wait. Was this man harassing you a lot? Because it sounds
Um,
like this is a more deeper.
no, no, not a lot. He had a drinking problem. And because we traveled from facility to facility, he had assaulted his wife, who was my friend, my coworker. And we moved to Kentucky at one point, and he just showed up in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And she was afraid to go home. So she came to my house, and I finally said, look, you can't stay here because number one, you're putting me in jeopardy of
Mm-hmm.
whatever he may do to you too. So let's go find a place safe for you.
Right.
And then after that, then he started sending pictures to other coworkers signed in as her back in the day. And so it wasn't just me, it was other people too. And then we got transferred to Tennessee. And here in Tennessee, he started pretty much the same old thing, even though the company banned him from being in company housing. And so I was like, I'm not going to play. I'm not the one. And so he was just like, what do you mean? I said, if she doesn't have a life insurance policy on you, she should, because if you knock on my door again, We're going to go ahead and let her become a millionaire on it. Okay.
Damn.
And he was like, whatever. Well, lo and behold, he stopped bothering me and was bothering other people. They got transferred. I got transferred to Chicago. And while in Chicago, they split up. And he came back and he killed her.
Oh, snap.
So he killed she was one of my good friends,
Damn.
and he killed her. And then had the audacity to call me afterwards. And I'm like, why are you using her phone? Why are you there? Well, I'm here to sign the divorce papers. And I said, okay, good. Don't call me anymore. And I just hung up. And a couple of days later, they called me from work, from her location, asked me if I had talked with her.
Mm-hmm.
All because of this man. I'd given up my revolver because I thought, I'm going to lose my temper. I'm going to shoot him. And I'm going to go to jail because I provoked it of some sort. Didn't know at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But they called me and said, hey, have you heard from her? And I was like, no. Her soon-to-be ex-husband called me. They were like, he's here. And I was like, okay. They went and found her that he had murdered her 4 days before.
Damn.
And so then he started calling me from the jail. And then he started sending me letters from the jail. And I reported everything. But in the middle of all this happening, he wasn't in Chicago. He was in Arizona when all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened next was that we had the same address for our mail to go to. He started sending letters to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to change all that information up, change different things about myself. But I also then that municipality was actually changing from the DAs, the different DAs, and they just didn't deem her case really top priority. And so he got lower sentences.
Wow.
And so, he got 8 years for tampering with a corpse. He got 6 years for necrophilia. He got probably, I think he got 10 years for something else. And then they added 12 on for the actual murder.
Mm-hmm.
But most of it had to do with him doing something to her body after she'd been dead for several days.
Right.
And then he blamed it on being in the Army, that it was post-traumatic stress from the Army. So with that, it was like, I don't know when he's getting out. And for the last I heard, he was actually working as like a ward of the court.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she met him. When we lived in Pennsylvania, he was working as a trustee of some sort for the court. And I got one phone call one other time, and I was like, that's it. And I lived in an apartment complex at the time when I got that phone call, but I'm like, I feel pretty safe. I know people can trail in behind others, even though it's a gated community.
Yeah, they can.
People don't care. People buzz them in just because. And I was on the third floor, and I could always hear people coming up. So I was always watching and knowing what was going on around me. So after all of that, I was like, okay, I got to move. So I moved to a triplex. And once I got to the triplex, I was here for the first night by myself. Didn't know my new neighbors or anything. Nobody was home on property, just me. And at 9:00 at night, I leave to go to my other apartment. And I open the front door, and there's a man standing there.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, oh. And my first instinct was back up. And he asked me, where you think you're going? And I had a bat next to the door, and I originally picked up the bat and started swinging. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you think I'm going? And I knocked him off my front porch. And he was like, wait a minute. I'm with AT&T. I'm with AT&T. I'm with Xfinity. Well, AT&T and Xfinity are not in bed together. And if you're coming up my driveway, as steep as it is, and parts of it, of course, now, doesn't get shade or get sun, you're coming up here for no good.
Well, he shouldn't have said what he said.
Yeah, he should have
Right.
said, yeah. And so I locked the door behind me. I called the police, and they came up, and they were like, nobody has any permits here. to be walking around, and especially at 9 o'clock at night. We have an ordinance for that here. And I was like, okay. And they were like, we'll see if we can find him. And I told them exactly what he looked like, that he was probably 6 foot, white guy with a clean cut, black shirt, had some kind of emblem on it, but I couldn't tell because it was pitch black out. And they were like, we'll go look for him. I said he had on black pants, but he had on white sneakers. And they were like, okay. And they went around and they found this guy, and he was somebody that was selling like alarm systems supposedly, and casing out homes, because 2 weeks later, same guy kicked in the door of a place that he'd been at before.
Wow.
In the neighborhood across from mine. So I was like, no, I'm not going out without a fight. It's either going to be them or me. And so I went out and I said, okay, I've never had a semi-automatic handgun before. I know all the stuff that I learned about firearms when I started going into the Marine Corps. So I was like, okay, I know some. And I went in and I thought, I'm not going to be shooting this all the time. I just need some bullets. So I bought one box of bullets, was a 50 round of target ammo. And then I bought a 20 round box of protection ammo. I went to the gun range and it was like, okay, there's instructions. I'm going to read the book. I'm a smart woman. I know how to do all this stuff and I can do it. I went to Academy and bought my first semi-automatic, which happened to be a SDV9. And I went to the range and I fired it off. And I was like, okay, this is not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting the casing to come out and so forth. My hands were shaking. The guy upstairs, he came down, he said, are you okay? And I said, I'm not sure I'm doing this stuff correctly. And he said, well, I only heard the one shot. And he said, and that scared us, and I didn't see you on camera anymore. And I was like, oh, he said, so I had to come and check. And I said, oh, do you think I shot myself? He goes, you never know. People do that stuff. And I was like, are you kidding me? Well, I was shaking, and he showed me how to properly hold the gun, and he showed me about pulling the trigger. And after I shot that 50 rounds, I was like, I might be hooked. And so next thing I do is go back and buy more ammo. And I was like, my budget, my fund money's run out now. And so I thought I was protected here at home. And everything seemed to go okay. I never had any other issues. My landlord put extra lights out, which was great. Never had to do anything with my firearm at probably in the first 3 years of living here, until I came home one night and saw the police out front. And I was like, what are they doing here? And I had taken courses after courses. I'd already got my concealed carry permit. I had taken a shoot house course a couple of times, an active shooter course, just all kinds of different things. And I didn't think the police were here for me. But when I parked in my spot in my driveway, as I'm getting out of the car, I hear people talking in my backyard, and I couldn't see them. And so my first instinct from the training that I'd received is post up and get ready for the fight, that you may not have to, but you may have to, and keep yelling out, who are you? Come to the light. I mean, I was like, more than come to the light, Carol Ann. I was yelling it out. Come, who are you? Come up here. And they wouldn't say anything.
That sounds like some poltergeist stuff to me, right? Come to the light.
It was something.
Come to the light.
Yeah. I was like, and then they finally, and I was like, if you're not going to tell me who you are, just be prepared, because you're going to get an ass whooping. And I'm just like, okay. And I was like, and the police are around here somewhere. And about that time, they stepped up into my security lights, bright. And I'm like, oh shit, it's the police. And they were like, we could hear something, but we weren't sure who it was or what was going on. All we kept hearing is somebody that sounded like they were cheering. Who are you? Who are you? And I was like, well, I did use my cheerleader voice from back in the day. And all said and done, one of the police officers, he goes, I thought it sounded like you. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And he said, you can holster up now. And I was like, thank you. And I holstered up and everything. They told me what was going on. Somebody had been staying next door to me, coming in as soon as they see my lights go off at night. They were going into the open unit next door to me. and they were living there. And then I was very upset with myself because I'm very observant. The only thing is they were sneaking out the back door so I wouldn't see them in the morning, and they were going out before I even got moving in the morning. So I was like, they're watching my movements. And so basically the dude had stabbed the girl next door with a fork, and her mother lived downstairs. I didn't even know that until after the fact. And so I was like, man, what's going on? So the police tell me, if you hear him come back, let us know if you hear movement over there. I
So
was like, all right,
that
cool.
was your second reason on why you're carrying, right?
Yes, that was the second. That was actually my first reason for having a home protection.
Mm-hmm.
Because before then, all I had was just my carry.
Wow.
That was it. And I was like, my carry has 15 rounds, and that's fine. But for home protection, I may need something a little heavier than a 9 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Prove that I'm doing business. A shotgun is universal for get the hell out of here. And I thought about, maybe I should get one just for the sound effects.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't taken that chance to do that or anything. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, my sugar gliders were freaking out, and I was like, what is going on? And at the time I think I had my 22 AR, and I had one magazine that was loaded with hollow points. And I was like, I can pull this trigger really quickly, and I'm sure that I could hammer them with 25 rounds of 22, because that's it. And
That's a bad way to die.
it is. And
Mm.
and not just that, I even holstered up when I came out of my bedroom. I'm in my little nightie, my little shorts and t-shirt, and I put my holster on, buckled up.
T-shirt and my panties on.
Pretty much. And I had 3 magazines on one side, 2 on the other, and fully loaded on the other side here. And I was like, it's rock and roll. And I was too short to see out the door.
Damn.
And I was like, okay, I cannot see. So I was like, this is a bad thing to do and a bad way to die, but do it anyway. So with the muzzle of the gun, I pulled back the curtains, just pulled them back a little bit, and I looked down, and there's a man in my bushes with a gun, with an AR. And I tapped on there and I said, what the F are you doing? And he looked up at me and he was like, and he pulls back his police. I was like,
Oh,
I got
damn.
the drop on you twice. But I was like, that's crazy. But back it up a little bit. When I got home earlier that night, the police came in and said, you don't think he's in my house, do you? And they were like, does he have a key? And I said, well, if he's able to get in over there, he might be able to get in. I don't know. So I said, let me go clear it. And they were like, what? I came in here and I cleared the house with my own gun. I was like Charlie's Angels. And I turned around, and there's the police chief looking at me, and one of the training sergeants, he was like, where have you been training at? And I was like, well, you guys are kind of slow, because I've got the drop on him before, and he might need to think about getting a different line of business, period.
It's funny you said that, because I mentioned that to some cops that pulled me over one time, and just the way that they approached my car. And like, I talked to them afterwards about that too. I was like, the way y'all approach my car, in my mind, if I was a bad guy, I would have had the advantage. And I talked to them about that and told them. And one of the cops, he was just a butthole. The other one actually was listening. He was like, man, you kind of right about that, you know? And I was telling them just the way that they approached the car, that really, both of them really could have really got hurt.
Exactly.
In
I've
a
had that happen
situation
too.
like that. They weren't strategic at all.
Well, I had that happen. Also, got pulled over, and the police officer had ran my tags and I guess my license, and saw that I had a concealed carry. So when he walked up, I just had my hands up on the steering wheel, my license over here. So I'm like, I'm just being safe and no movement. And he says, how you doing? And he says my name, and that is you, correct? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, did you know you were speeding? I said, speeders are good people too, sir. And he said, okay. And he says, well, I see you've got a concealed carry permit. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, do you even know what you carry? And I said, yes, sir, I do. And he said, oh, really? And I said, yeah. And he goes, well, what do you carry? And I said, today. And he goes, do you have different ones? And I said, yes, sir, I do. And he said, how many guns do you have in this car? And I said, is there an amount I'm not supposed to have? And he said, how many do you have? And I said, well, 15 at this time. And he was like, what? So I
Yeah,
just
you
came
was
back
you
from,
sound like you was coming from the range.
yeah, he goes, wait a minute. What is your number one carry? So I started telling him and everything. And then he goes, didn't I see you the other morning speeding? I said, that wasn't me. That was a car in front of me. You just stopped me to ask me if they were speeding. And I told you yes. And he goes, okay. And so then next thing he turns around, he says, where are all these guns at? I said, they're in the back of my car. So he had me go back there, lift up the hood on the back, and he said, oh, that's a nice carrying case. And it holds 15. I said, well, I make it hold 15. And so I showed him, and he was like, I'm so impressed with you. And I said, really? And he's like, yeah. And he said, this is very impressive that you actually know, and that there's so many women, their husbands buy them guns and they have no idea what they're carrying. And I said, well, that's why I do what I do. And
Well,
so that's also one of the reasons I became an instructor.
that's good. I appreciate you sharing that with me. That was like some really, really good
Yeah.
information. And again, some people, a lot of times, Tennessee guys don't want to share these instances, but I feel like these instances are actually, you seen earlier in the comment section, people are watching the show that don't have a lot of gun experience. They're watching this show. They are watching us.
Yeah.
Raheem, go ahead for us real quick. If you don't mind, share like some of the main reasons, and you one of my best friends. I know about many, but whatever you want to share on live, you got people watching, you got people listening right now, of the reasons, some of the reasons why you actually chose to carry a firearm or multiple firearms.
Well, I was born and raised in New Jersey, in
Jersey,
Patton,
baby.
and it's one of the toughest cities, in New Jersey. And I moved down here at 21 years old. So
Hmm.
my entire time living up in New Jersey, I've never ever had a firearm pulled on me. I've had many of fights. I've seen people get stabbed. Lived in the housing projects for a number of years and seen people shot.
Hmm.
But I've never ever, considered carrying a firearm. One, that's not in my family's culture to do that.
Facts.
My dad was military, but he never talked about firearms with me or showed me how to shoot firearms. I
Yep.
guess there was never ever, a need for it, right? So, and then like you said, Ivan, coming up in the areas that we have, we don't know where to get firearms legally, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So even at that age where I became an adult and I was able to, it was still something that was just, it never crossed my mind. But when I moved down here, I'm, I'm I moved to an apartment off of Harding Place,
Yep.
and Ivan, you was living on Limbar Drive. You was like right across the street from
I
me.
remember.
Remember?
I lived in
And
that
so
area.
one day, me and the groundskeeper, who was a mutual friend of Ivan and I's, we were just hanging out outside. I was literally right downstairs from my apartment. And it was in a breezeway that had steps that come down or come up from the ground level. And so, while we're out there talking, I'm just sitting out there in some sweatpants and a shirt, and we're just conversating, just shooting the shit, whatever. And this guy comes right up the back steps. So
I'll never forget this when you told me this.
yeah, I'm leaning up against a pole, like facing the back steps, and my friend is sitting on the steps, but his back is towards the steps that this guy come up. And so right as he came up the steps, gun come right up out of his waist, big old revolver, and puts it right in my face, and he's like, run it.
You little fucker.
And I'm like, oh shit, right? So immediately my hands go up, and he turns off of me and he points at my friend, and he tells him the same thing. He's like, yo, get up, run your shit, run all everything you got, I want it. And so my boy, he is pulled out his wallet, takes off his watch. He's like, give me those keys, give me your earrings, I want it all. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm outside my apartment. I'm just hanging out. So I don't have anything on me. So he turns back to me, puts the gun back in my face, and he's like, run your shit. He's like, where the weed at? I know you got the weed. I was like, yo, I ain't slinging. I'm just out here chilling. And he was like, yo, turn around. He's like, get on your knees. Turn around. I got on my knees. And he put that gun right to the base of the back of my head. And at that moment, I
Fucked up.
knew that was the story of me. There was nothing I could do. Just whatever happened, happened, you know?
Wait. I have to cut in because people are visualizing this, right? They're visualizing this mentally. Hold that thought. I want you to start from there, but finish up from there. But in your mind, watch this. In your mind, what the fuck were you thinking when he had that gun in the back of your head? Was you just like, "This is it.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
done."
it. It wasn't like I wasn't scared, and I think this was God. This had to be God because you know I knew in that moment there was nothing I could do,
Yep.
right? And if he did shoot me, it was quick. I wasn't gonna feel anything,
Hmm.
you know. Um, I I don't even think at that moment, my children were upstairs. They were in the house just watching TV.
Hmm.
But whatever happened, it was gonna happen quick, and I wasn't gonna feel anything, you
Oh,
know.
okay. Go ahead from there.
And so right at that moment, and I said this was God. This little girl comes running right up the sidewalk because the car had pulled up down the parking lot,
Hmm.
and she gets out and she's running up the sidewalk, and this is the lady who lives downstairs from me, but
Hmm.
across the breezeway,
Hmm.
and she sees him, and she says, "Oh, why you doing that?"
Oh
And
shit! You
right in
serious?
that moment,
I don't remember that when you told me that.
yeah, right in that moment,
Was it a little girl?
she had to be about 8, something like that,
Angel.
and I just felt that barrel come off the back of my head, and he was gone,
Damn.
right? And so it was, I was more pissed, right? I was more pissed off than shocked. There wasn't any shock because I grew up in that type of environment. You saw that shit happen every day. Yeah, never thought it would happen to me, but I was more upset than anything, you know. And so, when that happened, there was another friend of ours, I found out about it. I told him about it, and he gave me a firearm. And
Damn.
again, not knowing that you can go and get a carry permit,
Yep.
I had this firearm on me for a couple of months whenever I left out of the house, illegally. And I said, you know what? I can't do this. I have so much to lose. I have a family, I have a job, I have responsibilities, and so I stopped carrying it. And then I went and researched and found out what I needed to do to
Yep.
get a firearm license, to get a
Yep.
carrying permit, so to
Yep.
speak. See, up in New Jersey, it's not as easy as it is down here. There's
Hmm.
so many hoops and red tape that you got to go through to obtain a carry permit in New Jersey, you know? So when I finally, did this research and found out what I needed to have to do, I was kind of surprised. It was just signing up for the class and, paying the fee. And there you go, your background check and so on and so forth. And so right then and there, I said, okay, I'm legit now. You know what I mean? I don't want to be out somewhere and this happen again. And by chance, I have my family with me. I have one of my children, all my children with me, or if I have my friends with me again, I don't want to be in that vulnerable state. You understand
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I could tell you when we talk about when you decide when you make that decision to carry a firearm, that you do it every day. You make it a habit, right?
Facts.
You make it a habit. Now I can tell you, I'll give you another experience I had where I was without my firearm
Mm.
and I was in the midst of something happening.
Mm.
So some of you guys might remember a couple of years back on Interstate 24. This was right on Rutherford County and Coffee County line. So there was a shooting and a carjacking, right? And then there was a murder. Okay. So my wife and my son Aiden, this is my youngest boy, um, we left out Sunday morning to go to Franklin, and we had to get a little entertainment center. I had sciatica real bad, right? So I didn't carry my firearm that day. So we're driving down 24, and all of a sudden we see a bunch of brake lights, and I mean this is happening quick. This is happening now, right? So we start slowing down, and all of a sudden we're coming up right on the Rutherford County, Coffee County line. and all of a sudden you see someone run across the highway. And I said, oh shit, there was an accident. And so this person comes walking up the emergency lane, and
Mm.
I'm watching him, and he has an all black. And I'm like, in my head, I said, oh shit, he's got a gun, right? And then I said it aloud. And so my wife was like, what? I said, yeah, he's got a gun. And so I immediately changed lanes, went over to the far left lane, and he's just steady walking up the highway. Meanwhile, we're coming up on traffic, and he looks in the truck, and my heart sank. My heart sank right there. Because if he wanted the truck, if he wanted to get in my
He
car,
could have took it.
My
he could have.
godson, he got into my godson's car. They had ran into their car and had moved them into the middle of the median. And
Hmm.
then he thought their car was still operable, and he tried getting them out of it and made them get out at gunpoint. And my godson, he's a big kid, 6'6", 6'7" or so, 350, and his son was in the back seat in the belt. He couldn't get it off, and he just grabbed his son and snatched him out of the car with everything he had and tore the seatbelt out of the car. And the guy tried to take their car, and it wouldn't
Man.
go. So that's when he took off going up the interstate,
Mm.
walking.
Yeah, well, he was traveling with three other people, and an argument. We later on found out that an argument broke out in that car, and he shot someone in the car.
So when he
Yeah.
looked in your car, what did he do afterwards?
What he did was he saw I know he saw me. I know he saw my wife. I don't think he saw my son, in the back seat. But I looked him right in his face, and I kept rolling. At that point, the only thing I had was my car in case he decided he was going to try and walk up.
Run his
He
ass
was
over.
he was going to get hit, right?
Yep.
So, he was smart enough. He looked in the truck, and he kept walking up. And I was like, that shit did that really just happen?
Dang.
And it had to be like 15, 20 seconds later, Coffee County sheriffs come flying up my right side, and I'm laying on the horn. I'm like, yo, he just freaking, how did he miss him? He just passed him. And so I shot up to the side of the sheriff, and I said, you just walked past, like he just walked past us. He's back up the highway. And so he backs up, and we continue on, and we saw that there was a truck driver who had got shot. He was sitting out in the middle of the highway. And I said, well, we need to take this exit right here. We need to get off this highway. And there was a Ford, like an old Ford Escape, and it had there's two women in it, a lady and her mother. And she was standing outside of the driver's side, and she had her arm up. He tried to jack her car too, and she wouldn't give it up. And he shot her in the
Damn.
arm. He
Yep.
shot her in the arm. And so there was somebody there that was giving her first aid. Like, when I say this happened, like this happened right there. Like, we were right in the midst of it. And it was just, it was a shock. Like, it messed Lorraine up for a long time, you know. And, it was surprising to me too. But again, it's not the first time I've seen somebody get shot. So at that moment, I was like, you know what? Every time I leave the house,
Gotta
it's
have
got to
it.
be on my head.
Got to.
you know. But he ended up walking further down the highway, and he carjacked someone else, another man and his woman. They were a younger couple. I believe, they were from Summitville. It was not far from Manchester, and he took both of them hostage. And in the end, he ended up killing the husband, and ended up taking their vehicle, and there was a high speed chase once they got gone onto him, and he rolled the car, and he ended up killing himself. So
He shot himself.
yeah, so when you talk about a reason to carry, um, you just never know when something could happen. It doesn't have to be a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a robbery. We could be out in a grocery store. We could be out in a department store,
Yep.
and someone comes in and decide they want to light that place up, right?
Mhm.
People are so against us carrying firearms, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do when something like that happens,
Yep.
right? The first thing you're going to be wishing for is somebody make it stop.
Yeah, and see the thing is the part they don't want to hear. Anti-gun people is the part that's going to make them stop is what? Another person with a firearm.
Right.
They don't want to hear that part.
No.
But
No.
that's the truth of the matter. That to me, that's the perfect equalizer. Is for the opposition, the other person to have a firearm and not just a firearm, guys, but a firearm that's going to either match what they have or overwhelm what the other person has is doing all that bad shit out there. Like you
Or
have
you got better skill than they
You know
do.
what? You're
facts.
right. Right.
Exactly.
You need to be better.
Exactly.
You need to be better. You need to be confident in what your abilities are.
Yep.
You know, if you don't get out there and you don't train, you don't know your weapon, right? You could hurt someone else.
Yep.
You could kill someone else,
Yep.
right? If you're not operating your equipment the way it's supposed to be, you're not
Mhm.
maintaining it the way it's supposed to be, and then you're in that instant, right? And you have a malfunction. That malfunction could cost you your life.
Facts.
Yes.
It could cost the lives of other people.
Yeah,
So when we talk about training, when we talk about maintaining, right? You got to do that. You have to. It's just being prepared. You
and not,
know.
not only will it cost the life of other people, but on top of what you're saying, it could fucking cost your life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can get locked up for fucking ever. You
Yeah.
can end up dead.
Yep.
So that's how important it is to know these things. And it's funny, you know what? Remember the last gun gossip show when we were on here and I was telling you all about some of those YouTubers and I was saying, the do's and don'ts of YouTubers, like when you get online exposing certain things and this and that and that and this. It's funny because right after that, man, I kid you not, right after that, another YouTuber came out and they got that YouTuber.
See.
And I'm like, you see, people had these little opinionated views about certain stuff, but let's talk about what's just real. What's really happening out there. Like, that's why I love these discussions because these are real life situations, real life discussions. Just because you may like to do it may not be the right thing to do.
True.
Right. Right.
The other
It's just
thing,
so much that goes on. It's just so much that goes out in this world, and I just know I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to make it back to this house.
Facts.
true.
I'm gonna do whatever I
If you,
need to do, make sure my family, my mom, my dad, my sisters, my cousins, my friends, my best friends, they're with me, then they're my responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
true.
And by all means, always try to avoid situations. I think that's first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid situations, avoid putting yourself in a situation,
Mm-hmm.
and always, always, always de-escalate. You de-escalate to the point where you have no other choice, where
Yep.
danger is imminent, because when you make that decision and you fire that thing, you're confident in knowing that there was nothing else you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You were put in that situation for that to happen, or that person put you in a situation for it to happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you also have to realize on the legal aspect, you're responsible for every bullet that comes out of your
Every bullet.
Exactly.
And, I always suggest to have some type of, I call it shooter's insurance or reassurance,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because you just never know. Because if you have to use your firearm, there is a possibility that you are going to be arrested,
And
period.
that shit gonna get
Oh,
expensive.
you will
It's gonna
be
get expensive.
put in handcuffs. That's for sure.
Yeah,
That's a fact. And any shooting, afterwards you will be cuffed, right? And there is a process that they have to follow. you know
exactly.
but at the same time, you make a good point, about having that shooter's insurance. It's, you talk about that, and from Ivan, when we were out yesterday, we were at that location, High Caliber, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I took a bunch of pamphlets, brochures, and stuff like that, and one of those was the insurance. While we were in that location, I was talking to the owner and I asked him what was his take on, insurance like that. He said it's worth every penny. He said because you'll never know. You never
The-
know. You might not be charged, with a murder, right? You might not be charged legally, but you know what? That family could come after you for civil
Silver court.
reasons,
Yep.
Yep, they sure
right?
can.
And you're still and at that point you're still coming out of your pocket, right? That insurance, that's another a second part of where it helps you.
Hmm.
So you make a good point, Goddess.
Yeah.
Getting that insurance, it is something that every firearm owner should have.
Yes.
Well, I'm
And
gonna tell you
you
this. Uh,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you this. USCCA right now is going through hell. They, and I know the comment section about to light up, Tennessee guys. Because
Well,
you,
they just
you,
raised the prices too.
man, let me tell you something. They done did some people wrong. Now I think some of them cases was legit, but they had about one or two, and that's just too many to me. Like
I
where
think
they were straight
uh,
suspect. Yeah. See, so it's one of those situations now where they in so much hot water. They got some major big YouTubers that were in behind them, and now their contracts have expired. USCCA, and now a lot of them are going to attorneys on retainer, which is one of. And I'm not advocating for them guys. They don't pay me nothing like that. If they did, I'd tell y'all. But um, like this, some of the bigger YouTubers are now switching from the USCCA to those guys, and my whole thing is this, man. If a person like big YouTubers tell you, they have to tell you, I'm not trying to sell you or this and that and that and this. The truth of the matter is, most of the YouTubers that are online right now are in business, period. No matter how you want to believe they're not, they are. And they stand and they are biased and behind a lot of these businesses. And a lot of times they don't really want to tell you. And they'll try to make it seem like they're just angels and this and that and that and this. But no, they have to feed their families too. They they
yeah,
they're in behind certain contracts with certain places like this too. So they're going to advocate for those people. So just keep that in mind. Just because a person tell you, I got this. Well, I didn't pay for this well, they didn't send me this product. Such and such didn't send me. Glock didn't send me this project. Who gives a fuck? I don't care if they sent it to you or not. I honestly don't.
Yeah,
Just
but
when
you
you get
plugging them. Just be honest.
yeah, that's my
yeah,
whole thing. When you get the product, just be honest about what's going on with it. To me, when a person like when some of these big YouTubers come out and say that I pay for this myself and all that, then to me, I'm the total reverse. I start not trusting them just because they said the shit.
yeah,
You don't have to say that. Just
Right.
give us the truth about what's going on. You can still advocate and for certain products, but tell them what's going on and let them make a sound decision about if the product is good for them or not. That's it.
Right. But
and if you're
give an
gonna go
opinion
for
based off of your experience.
yes, but if you're gonna go for shooters insurance, there's so many out there. Line them up, vet it yourself,
Yep.
that you know what you're getting and what you're not getting. Read the fine print.
Right.
You know, there's different things out there. I know people that had USCCA and they were not renewed, even though we're still paying their payments.
Right.
Then there are other people that had different problems with other insurances that they called them and nobody returned the call.
Damn.
Yeah.
But you also have attorneys that are moving from one group to the other. And sometimes that makes me wonder, well, is it because they're offering something better, or is it because this one is bad? Or
Mhm.
if you know this attorney personally and they've moved from here, the ones I know personally, I ask the question, why did you leave there?
Mhm.
I've had one tell me before, they offered me more money to come over here. My time was up here, so I had more money come over here. Okay, but you're not usually a money grab kind of person, But then I've had another one that told me that I didn't believe in what they had to offer. I believed in what these guys had to
Yeah.
offer.
See, that's
And
real
I'm
right
going to
there.
tell you, read the fine print for everything. Even these guys read the fine print.
Right, and
It,
there's no one shoe fits all when it comes to this shit.
no,
Something may work different with a different business for another individual person. It's like, and then but there is, like she's saying, there is a lot of factual information out there where it's just some things are just not good in their
yeah,
policies. Some things are clearly not good in their policies. And see, the thing about the internet now, what I love is you can't hide. If you doing some
Mm.
shady shit, like you got some investigators
It's
out
gonna
there.
get found
Hey
out. At
Rod, they
some
got
point, it's
bro.
going to.
They coming out the woodwork on you. So
Yeah.
it's best to kind of be as honest as you can, because if you don't, you're gonna have that one motherfucker that know how to do some research and gonna come around and drop that comment, or they
Yep.
gonna figure out a way to get it, out there to expose the truth about certain things. So really, it's one of those ages where, man, just tell the people what it is. If they don't like it, let them sit on it and make a decision. I have insurance on myself, just in case something happened. I'm not going to tell y'all who it is because, again, I don't want to be too biased and stuff like that. It's always good to make your own decision, but it ain't too hard to tell. All you got to do is look at my description section. You see who I'm rocking with at the current
Mm.
moment. At the current
yeah.
moment.
And for me, I have shooter's insurance and I have to have instructor's insurance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because the school shooting that was here in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
they were looking for who trained that girl.
Mm.
And I'm like, well, I know for sure she didn't come to any of our meetings, but you never know that you're at the range sometime and you go over and help somebody with something, and then they turn around, well, I saw them on camera with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't want them coming after. I paid my dues to get my instructor certifications that I have, and I paid my insurance for them. So I am not wanting those things to just disappear, just poof, because of some negligent person
Right.
or somebody that's just off their rocker. You
Right.
know, and my goal every day is to come home and stay home with the same amount of holes I had when I went to bed, got up the next day. Is the same amount. I'm not wanting any extra. I don't need any more piercings. I'm good. You know,
Facts. I don't want to ever have to use the fucking insurance to be like.
don't
Right.
want to have to. It's
Right.
like health insurance. It's there when you need it.
Exactly. A G23 said, I have both USCCA and AOR. That's what's up, man. But I'm going to tell you, USCCA is going through it right now, bro. They losing a lot of people in the 2A community right now. Somebody from USCCA, and I know they hear me because how it goes on the internet, whenever you say shit for some reason, it tends to get back to the big businesses. So whoever's with USCCA better get out here and start talking. Better start getting out here and getting on these podcasts to earn this out, or they gonna be in big trouble.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to see what's up. I'm unaware of what's going on with them.
Yeah, just Google, YouTube it when you get done. Just YouTube USCCA issues, or what should YouTube Tennessee Goddess? It'll pop right up, bro.
Insurances, USCCA insurance, I believe.
No, like the issues that they're having right now.
Yeah,
So you can find it.
insurance issues. I guess
Yes.
I don't know because I am affiliated with them, but I don't have the insurance through them, so I don't know anything about their insurance.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm
yeah,
just affiliated on that aspect, and I can't say yay or nay about
I,
them. So
I can tell you one platform to go to, and I watch him every once in a while. He he not really my flavor, but I do watch him every once in a while. But Heavy Duty, you go to his channel, he's talking about it. It's another YouTuber out there. I cannot remember what his name is, but he talked about the what's that guy named? The one to be talking super fucking fast. He got the chubby cheeks. Be talking real fast. He's I think
is it
he a lawyer or
Coleon Noir?
no, not Coleon Noor. He with that USCCA shit. Not him.
No, I don't
No,
think he is anymore.
this guy right here is like he says armed scholars. Like in the end, he always
Oh,
say,
yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't.
and he talks super
Yes.
fucking fast.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, that guy, he just dropped USCCA, and I'm like, oh shit,
Mm.
that was like the second person, and then a third person. I can't remember who they were, but a third person came out, big YouTuber, and was like, they dropping them too. I was like, oh man, this is really getting crazy. Like, so that's one thing, man. These companies, this is not like back in the day where you can hide from your product being crap.
Yeah.
You gotta face this shit now. You
But you
know,
Oh,
have
G23 said guns and gadget.
Guns and Gadgets probably did too. Yeah, he's
He
probably
thinks
right.
that's who it is.
Huh?
He thinks that's who it is. The armed
Armed
scholar.
Scholar. That's it. That's it. Yep. He came out talking about it, and he was talking about how he was up under contract, and you can't say shit because you up under contract. Even though you
yeah.
know the shit ain't right, you still can't say nothing till your contract expire. So I'm telling y'all, a lot more be going on than y'all could ever imagine, man. Don't let these big YouTubers fool you, man. Don't let them fool you just because, like I said before, just because they say, I bought this out of my own pocket and all of this crap, man. Miss me with that. Just produce the product. Tell me about the product. What don't you like about the product? Do you like it?
I don't need
Like,
to know where you got it from.
huh?
I don't need to know where you
I
got
don't
it
give a
from.
damn. I
Unless
really don't care.
they are supplying you and paying you to scream out their name. I
Well,
mean,
this is the deal. If they paying you to scream out their name, but you can still give them constructive criticism on their product, I
yeah,
still respect the person. I don't care if they getting paid. As
You
long as,
gotta
like,
have that honest opinion, man.
that's what
That's
I'm
yeah,
saying.
real.
That's exactly like Ross said. As long as they giving me more of an honest opinion about their experience. Like, you can give enough honest opinion about a product without bashing them. If you smart, you know how to do it.
yeah. I mean,
So
there's a certain way, eloquent way to put it.
right.
You know, it's just like you have to be honest about it, and you have to not tell them it's always going to be all these roses and rainbows.
Yep.
You
Right.
know, because it may be something that you don't like.
Exactly. And
You
let the
know,
person be the judge from that. Sometimes people are willing, okay, that's not a, like, when you mention it, they like, okay, that's not really a major issue for me. Like, it may have more pros than cons to
yeah,
them.
Hmm.
So I don't know. That's the way that I look at it. And maybe us just sharing this from our platform and other people hear this, it'll start to spread that. Cause, you know, a lot of times, man, we got a lot of sheeps out there and people who follow other people just for no reason. And it's time for all
Yeah.
that shit to stop, man.
Yeah. That's how you get a lot of false information.
Exactly.
agreed.
If you can't give excuse me, if you can't give feedback on personal experience, then don't give it at all.
Exactly.
Don't open your mouth about something that you don't know nothing about. Period.
Yeah,
Well, and if you don't know about it, you can open your mouth. But if you don't know
Yeah,
about it,
and say that
at
though.
least have enough respect to say, you know what? I don't know about this. I will do what? Get back with you guys and let you know about it.
Right.
yeah. Enough
I
said.
mean, yeah, it's really that simple. So that's it. But I tell y'all, I really, really do appreciate y'all sharing your experiences with us today. Like, some of that stuff did not need to be explained out here and, like,
Nah, man,
told.
it does. No,
I
it does.
appreciate it, man.
It does. It
It
does need to be
does.
shared. It needs to be shared because it's one thing to hear about something like that happening on the news,
Hmm.
right? Stuff that we just talked about. It's one thing to hear it happen on the news. It's different hearing it from someone that you know,
Yep.
right? Because then it hits that closer to home. It's like,
Hmm.
damn, I could have been with that person. I could have been with you when that happened.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, those experiences need to be shared with people that we know and love.
Hmm.
definitely. Because, like you were saying about the incident on 24 and my godson being there and affected by it, because right after it happened, my phone is ringing. His mom's calling me. He's calling me saying, I need to learn how to shoot to protect my family.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And since that
it's
day,
real.
he is definitely protecting his family. His boys know how to shoot. His wife, all of them. And the boys are like, "When can I finally carry?" I'm like, "Not till you're at least 18 or 21." But and like
Right.
you guys, I didn't come from a family that was into guns. Now my grandfather had his father's shotgun. They hunted and things like that because we're country folk. But other than that, no, my dad had a couple rifles, and air pistols, not anything like a 9 millimeter. And the
Mm-hmm.
one thing that will always cherish about my dad having Alzheimer's and so forth, but him to tell me when I took my instructor's course that he was proud of me,
Mm-hmm.
that I was taking my safety into my hands, and that he knew that he was safe when he was with me when he was lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because with, of course, Alzheimer's, they have no idea sometimes where they're
Yeah.
at. They don't know night or day. And that brought me comfort to know that my dad trusted me enough to be with him. And he was like, I don't know if I'm going to try to grab your gun or anything like that. And I said, don't worry, it's with me. You'll
Mm-hmm.
never know it's here.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know? And so those are things that really meant a lot to me, you know. And my dad's been gone now. It'll be 3 years at the end of the month. And I'm like, that is something that is always going to ring in my head. He wanted me to have my mom learn to protect herself, and she does. Not all the time, but she tries, you know, at least she tries, and she knows how. Now my sister stepped up to the plate because she has an autistic son and she has a husband that has epilepsy. And she was like, I'm the only one that didn't have anything, and I need to protect my family.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's become a date night with her and her husband, because now he likes to shoot as well. So um, he wants to protect his family the best that he can. So I'm like, hey, it's now become a family thing, and not. I knew that my grandmother had shot someone back in the 30s or 40s with a 22, because my great grandmother carried a 22 pistol in her apron, and she'd shot somebody that was chasing after her, you know, and she was just a
Spill
Wow.
little
too much
girl.
of the
Well,
tea.
she's gone. Those people that were chasing her, they're gone. They
Yeah.
gone.
All
You know.
right, type zero. He dropped something. He said the big YouTubers say whether they bought something with their own money because they don't want to get hit by the FTC. Now I understand that. So this is the deal, type zero. You can still be strategic and smart by saying they sent it. They sent this to the channel. That's not, see what a lot of these big YouTubers do. They try to put an emphasis on it and make you believe them. So they'll say, I didn't spend my own money to get this product, you know, or and stuff like that, you
I've
know.
even seen them say they gifted it to me.
Yeah, so it's ways that you can say certain things. Like just say that it was sent over to the channel. And when you say it was sent over to the channel, you don't know if a person paid for it or not. It's really none of their business. To be truthfully honest with you. So it's ways that you can still say it, but I think a lot of these bigger YouTubers, they do that to try to just make people believe that, you know what, just because, I purchase this, if I go out and I purchase this, then I like it and I'm just going to tell you the truth about everything. But when a company sends it to me, then that automatically makes me the boogeyman, because I'm gonna just say everything are peaches and cream with the situation. It don't always work out like that, guys. Y'all got, it's YouTubers out here that are sent stuff by these companies and they still give y'all the truth and they still tell you what's going on. So for me, like I said, I just don't, when big YouTubers come out the gate with saying that kind of stuff, it makes me look upside down to them a little bit. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, come on, man. You really don't even really have to tell me that. Just tell me about the product. Like, I don't care how you getting paid. I understand that everybody got to get paid. I get it. Just tell me about the product. What you don't like about it. What do you like about it? Did it have any issues? What type of issues were they? Rod, keep going. Tennessee
Right.
Goddess, keep going. Like,
Right. The same thing. That's all that
Yep.
matters. Be honest.
real talk, man. So, type zero, that's the way that I see it. And I know a lot of other people may see it the other way, because a lot of sugar has been put out here for people to taste, and because it sounds so sweet, people believe it. But I'm just one of those guys where I just don't. It's almost like I look at stuff in the polar opposite a lot of times to get a true understanding of what's going on in the matrix. So you got
True.
three people that's on here that's not from this planet. Trust me. I promise you that. So, all right, y'all. I'm hot as fuck. This little office and shit cooking me, man. It's probably about like 300 degrees. I'm turning into a little brown rotisserie chicken in this mud. And it's time to get up out of here. So I really appreciate y'all rocking out with us, man. I'm going to go ahead, crank this music up. Y'all know how we do. Tennessee Goddess. Go ahead and close us out real quick.
If you can carry it with you every day, carry every day.
There you go.
100%.
All right. Hing, go ahead and close us out, man.
Hey, stay safe, stay vigilant, be aware of your surroundings. Y'all be blessed.
All right, y'all. And for tonight, I'm going to just say stay strapped or get clapped. It's really that simple. Like Ross said, man, try not to forget it. Don't forget it, because just that one moment when you do forget it, a situation might happen and you're unprepared. Never get caught slipping with your boxers, panties, or underwear down, boy. Stop playing. All right, y'all. We out of here, man. We gonna holler at y'all.
Later.
All right, y'all hang in there. Yes,